Thanks for tuning in, folks. It is that Double RT Boxing Show, the Ready Talk Boxing. Mr.A, I am back. We're going to do a 3-fight post-fight review. Crunched up time, mix it together. We're doing Makabu's victory, Figueroa's victory, and Fulton's victory as the thumbnail showed. Now, the Double RT Boxing Show, for you new viewers, the lingo on the show is best fight the best. That's what we cover. For us, that means 1 through 15. And we talk about the belts they have and how they got to climb the ladder. That, a quick rundown of what the show is if you just happen to stumble across it for our Makabu coverage or a Fulton coverage, some other odd ends that you don't normally see coverage. Up until I had my little business, and not my own business, but work pick up, I covered more fights, but now I'm crunching them together. Makabu versus Papin, it's easier to pronounce his names that way, is what the show is about. 1 through 15. I'm a fan just like you. I created the show 2 years ago, season 4. Number 1 in the WBC, Makabu, and number 14 in the IBF, Papin. Like I said, I never heard of Papin. I seen Makabu lose against Bellew, and I saw him knock out. I saw a little bit of the knockout of the Russian dude from the first season of the WBS, to do with the beard. Now, Makabu, we're getting to the fight, is exactly what the title he has says he is, the WBC Silver Champion. Now, the Silver Champion, like I said, we do a quick little belt coverage rundown. The way the WBC describes it, it's basically the champion of the B- group. If the ones who fighting for the belts are the elites, Breedis, Dorotokos, Goławski, if those are the elite guys at top notch, you say, okay, Makabu is right in there, but he's not there. He's a WBC Silver, champions of the Bs. And Papin showed himself, like I said, I watched this fight probably just like a lot of you guys watched this fight. Give me something to watch until Kovalev Yard, Heard the names, wasn't too hyped out about the fight. It turned out to be a really good fight, entertaining fight. And you saw, I said, for a guy who I never seen or heard of, Papin, he was moving. He was using the style, which is my favorite style. I Mr.A, like movers. That's my addiction in the boxing game. I'm a junkie for movers. And he was moving, Papin. Like I said, the first half of the fight was you can probably like say a little even, moving with the pop shot and volume punching of Papin. Makabu going with the hard hands of the left, but around like the first 6, I say even, it's going back and forth. 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there, Makabu seems to take advantage, take the lead a little bit. The momentum's going in his favor. Papin's tiring down. The body shots are landing more. His body's reacting different to the shots. But in round 10, it looked like Makabu used all his energy in that round 8 and 9 that gave him that swing. Almost like what we saw in Kovalev Yard. And then it swung back and forth of Papin. You saw Makabu's guard get wide and his hands get low. When he missed a punch, he threw himself off balance. He was starting to turn around slow and walk him down again, almost like what Derek Chisora would be doing. And if it wasn't for probably that 12th round knockdown that Makabu scored on Papin, Papin could have won this in Russia. Could have won it, and people maybe would have said it was a fixed cooking, or they say, hey, you know what? It was a close fight. Anyone deserved to win it, but with Makabu getting that knockdown. And it being that close, like 115, 113, 114, 114, and 114. It was like a real close. So obviously that knockdown swayed it. So, and in this fight, became the winner became the mandatory for the WBC Cruiserweight, which is in the final of the WBSS. So if this fight was in the States, well, not in the States, but even though it was on the ESPN app and viewed by the States, that fight in American undercard could have made themselves some really good overseas exposure, because that was a good ass fight. Fans weren't expecting it. Who knows how good the viewership is going to boost their career? Like I said, that fight was sometime around 11 o'clock a.m. California time. So I think something like that. So who knows exactly what type of... I'm reviewing it. People are going back and watching it. Like I said, just hearing by word of mouth. It was a pretty good fight. Definitely, it shows that the cruiserweight right now, that Usyk is out of it, it's up for grabs. You figure I said the elites, Breedis, Dorticos, Valky, those are probably these three, because we don't know what it is of the WBA champion Gulamarian. We covered him like twice on the show. He shows like I said, the way we describe him on the show is a broken down, raw version of every Abel Sanchez fighter. Gassov, GGG. He tries to come forward and bruise and beat your ass. He's a that man in progress. So it's kind of hard to say where he's at. I don't know who the GOAT is by name, Alexei Igorov. Maybe I might recognize his face. But then you have the next group, which consists of Makabu's number 1, Okoli number 2 for the WBA, Imeri Cislio number 4 by the IBF. He's just hanging around trying to cruise in there for something. Same with Fariat Arslan. So I don't really count. Like I said, Cislio and Arslan is number 2 and 3 by the WBO. So I'm not counting that, because they ain't going to do much. They're going to get that career last hoorah paycheck. And the only cruiserweight, like, not the only one, but did you have Ruslan Fairfur, Noel Grover, Christoph or Grodotsky. The one I check out, I follow on the show, Kevin Lorena. He seems to be a nice international mixture. How will he do in the States? He moves around pretty well, punches. So it'll be interesting to see a nice international clash between Makabu and Lerna, who's number 5 by the WBC. Makabu's number 1. And if Makabu somehow gets the WBC champion and Lerna climbs that way, that'd be an interesting fight. That'd be interesting. The movement of Lorena, and will he move and take away that left from Makabu? Yeah, Makabu has a right, but it's just like Adonis Stevenson. If you can take away that left, you have a better chance with Makabu. And you can see, you can tag him, pick him apart, get him tired. You can see that. So we went a little along on that one, but hey, Double RT Boxing Show, the Ready Talk Boxing Show. Now we moved on. That was the Russian card of Anthony Yard and Sergey Kovalev. We move on to the FS1 PBC Championship produced card, headlined by Brandon Figueroa, taking on Chakun, Javier Chacon. That fight is a nice showcase. They say Chacon won a little tournament to win the opportunity, so can't knock it if the WBA did their little thing on the side and he won the tournament. Who did he beat in the tournament? Who fucking knows? But the fact that they are doing, they always say, like, oh, what the fuck is the organization doing? They're doing things behind the curtains to run it like a shit. But, like I said, Javier was number 7. The best fight the best. That's the lingo. We don't give a fuck who they are, but hey, if they're within the system and it's running, what can we really complain about? You know, if the fighters want to be bitches and don't want to make the fights, hey, that's them being a bitch. When the system of the organizations try and give the fans the best, yeah, some spots may be paid for, some spots maybe, well, how is it earned? Whatever system work they got, to them, they're trying to give us, hey, we got it wrong. Hey, he's number 7. He wasn't supposed to win that tournament. He won it, and he looked like number 7 in Brandon Figueroa's fight. Didn't throw nothing. He got folded by body shots. Now, same old Figueroa, you know, even Boom Boom was saying it as a commentary. He needs to start practicing using his advantages, his size, his jabs, because it's one day this style, you're going to come across a fighter you just can't bully. You just can't do it. You know, we saw the perfect example. He should take, they're talking to his brother, like, how can you help your brother? They're telling Omar what advice you give to Brandon. Shit, he should tell him, like, oh, he was saying, oh, just the mental aspect of the game. He should fucking tell him, like, hey, don't be like me. Don't try and bully everyone. Look what happened to me and Ugas. I couldn't bully him and he beat the shit out of me. You know, he's gonna come to a day where he won't be able to put someone against the ropes, put the pressure on. Someone's gonna be moving around, skipping on him, using pop shot at him, speed, and picking him apart. Like, well, Ugas wasn't using speed, but with footwork. But he was picking him apart, hitting him hard. And it just happens to be they get him in the ring with Fulton, Stephon Fulton. Now, the Brandon Figueroa fight, your typical Figueroa fight, punches and punches, but like I said, good body work, but no jabs, no height advantage, no height usage, no reach usage. He's smothering his work, some landing, some not. It's a lot he can do different. As for Fulton, who is the number, I think 13, they say, by the WBA. And if you can see, Fulton's fight was a good fight. I get back to what I was going to say. As you can see, Fulton took on, as he said, as they reported, his 6th undefeated fighter, Isaac Avalar. It started off as a pretty chest fill-out fight. And then all of a sudden, about the 3rd round, you could see the separation. Fulton had the feet work, the punch selection, the speed, the hand speed, the placement. He was just it almost got to like he was just dancing on him. It looked real good. I said, the reason I know Felton because if you follow the Double RT Boxing Show, you kind of see that as I created the show, my boxing knowledge expanded. I found different fighters in different weight classes, and I start covering. I try and cover 1 or 2 fighters from every weight class that's American. You know, because we don't have a big fan following in America of the bantamweights, the 126. You know, we have Leo Santa Cruz, you know. So I'm oh shit, Josh Greer Jr. He's a nice guy. So that's why Josh Greer Jr. is on this channel. But his one loss is to Fulton. You know, so I was like, oh shit, well, Josh Greer Jr., he seems to good. So who beat him? Fulton. I was like, he pops up on TV. I was like, oh, that's the guy who beat the guy I like. So I check him out. And you see why he beat Josh Greer. Josh Greer has those pauses. He tries to walk you down. Back at it. Like I said, Josh Greer tries to walk. He has those pauses. And Fulton has the hand speed to pick you up in between and the footwork to move. And that fight happening, it's going to have to happen for them to set it up like that in the ring post-fight interview. Stephon Fulton rocking that IBO belt. Beautiful. Like I said, on the Double RT Boxing Show, we talk belts. I like the IBO belt. I think it looks nice. It's a nice grain, a nice gold mixture, solid pieces. When Stephon Fulton's rocking it like that, it looks like a good belt. So when they had him rocking that belt and Figueroa rocking the WBO, That's a fucking interim belt, man. It's not a continental. It's not a national. That's a high ass belt, man. Like, if Danny Roman fucking fractures a knuckle and can't fight, and he's out for 6-7 months, the dude who runs the division or the WBA division for one will be Brandon Figueroa. He will be the man. He's the vice president of the division. It's like, you know, because they won't allow Ronnie Rios, the gold champion, to step in, which I don't understand why. To me, it's a little backwards that Figueroa should be the gold champion and the interim should be Ronnie Rios. I don't see why they do the gold higher, but I guess they use the gold as almost like a silver type shit. It's like you're the champ. You're like say Figueroa is the next best thing, and he's like Ronnie Rios is like the best B class guy. It's like a silver type title for the WBC. It's gold. But anyway, Fulton and who the guy he fight? Aviar. Fulton looks good. He just eventually just picked him apart. You used his ring generalship, his feet, enough power on the shots, and got him. And like I said, the fact that his placement was good, vicious body shot. Well placed the left side hook, took him out. Now, as you can see, now I'm getting back to where you can see, even though it's just me on the tape, me on the show, and no footage, but you can see with your ears. You know, to me, you know, just Mr.A's thoughts. You know, a little segment that we will get back to on the Double RT Boxing Show, the Mr.A's thoughts. You know, we're going to get back to a lot of segments. We're going to get back to the fight makers. We're going to get back to the Mr.A's thoughts. You know, we're going to get back to that stuff. But right now, we're just catching up to some breakdowns and post-fight reactions. And that's why the show's been cut back too, because it's time restraint. But we're back anyway. To me, Mr.A's thoughts here, what they're trying to do here, because we're seeing a lot of youngsters under zone recently who just looked impressive. Besides Virgil Ortiz, like the next bracket. I think they got that white dude they call white chocolate. They got the dude Ammo. I forgot what other young talent they had over there, but we see young fighters like that. We see a lot of young fighters at top right, and now PBC is starting to slowly have these young fighter cards on FS1. Is that they're not always the best fights because they're so young. You see a lot of loops in their style, but you know, they got the Brandon Figueroa, their answer to Ryan Garcia, you know, the little pretty boy Mexican who can fight. He can fight. He brings in the fan base, you know, the heartbreaker, and you got him, and so they got that. And then the guy who was on the undercard earlier, boy, was that a fucking one-round great fight. Omar Juarez and I want to say Paz. Those motherfuckers were throwing heat rocks and that knockout. Great fight. Just a shout out to that fight. But like I said, that's a nice little youngster. He's 5-0. So PBC is doing the youngster build up. But what I'm saying, to me, Mr.A's thoughts, I want to sidetrack here. What it seems like they might be doing is they're trying to get mandatory purse bids to get their hands on these belts. Like I said, they're trying to get a division, you know, Top Rank, Matchroom, DAZN, ESPN, PBC, and this weight class it's shown it has a popularity. It has a following, you know. On DAZN, Danny Roman, TJ Downey. So like I said, to me, it's probably one. It's nominated for Fight of the Year. It has Round of the Year, a nomination number round 9 to me. So that was a good fight. You got Vargas, who's a good fighter. Daniel Roman, Emmanuel Navarrete coming out making this noise. So the attention is getting in this weight class, and the fan base is picking up, but PBC has no touch on it. They have no touch on this weight division. So what they're doing there, they got the number one spots for the WBC and the WBA. WBC Ray Vargas champion, WBA Daniel Roman champion, which is also the IBF. So if you beat Daniel Roman, PBC can have a hold on 2 belts. Now, like I said, at number 1, they got the mandatory spots. If you so-called number 1, the mandatory spot. In the WBC, you got Guillermo Rigondeaux at number 1. Is the WBC going to purse bid that fight? Rigondeaux and Ray Vargas. Who's going to win that purse bid? DAZN or PBC? Fox, Showtime. So who's going to win that? So PBC is trying that route with Guillermo Rigondeaux to get their hands on the WBC belt. And then on the WBA IBF Daniel Roman route, you got the interim champion Brandon Figueroa. It's the same styles match. You know, they both come at each other. But me, I favor Brandon Figueroa. Just I think he's more of a jab user, and he just understands how to use that style more. I think he's a little more polished at that style. I think he'll probably be able to take a shot better than Figueroa. But in doing so, like I said, Roman could probably beat Figueroa at that style. But can Roman beat Fulton? I know it sounds just simple. Yeah, he's going to walk him down, put all that pressure on him. But you saw what Fulton can do. And if you're PBC trying to get your hands on that belt, who's going to give you a better chance to represent your company and bring that belt back? Brandon Figueroa or Fulton? So I'm thinking the matchmakers, Al Heyman, whatever you want to say, PBC is like, I think Fulton gives us a better shot at these belts, to getting our hands on these belts. Because looking at the rankings, WBA super bantamweight, number 15 Bates, 14 Nelson Machado, 13 Stephen Fulton, 12 Ying Jin Kun, McKee Baymont, Django Waki, Diego De La Hoya. Who knows what the fuck he's about? He's not PBC. Giovanni Guarez, Cancun, guy who just lost. Lorenzo Pereira, Biza. Basically, no PBC names, you know? They got Brandon Figueroa number 1, and they got a bottom of the barrel, Stephen Fulton. Who's going to give you the better shot at beating Daniel Roman? Like I said, we can do the IBF. Let's look for the PBC names in the IBF. 15, Jarvis, Ricky Goldie, Ward, Akoa, Monty, Leo, Castro, Takeshawara, Kegel, Arnold Kegel. He just fought or has a fort coming up. Dahoney, Juarez, Waki, Tapales. See what I mean? There is no PBC chance of getting these belts. Same with the WBC. We could do a quick rundown. 15, Williams, Mazzolani, Dogbay, Leo, Kuga, Rios, Lamonti, Kamadi, Kaja, Havanich, Castro, Dahoney, Medina. You can see PBC brand has a small grasp at the super bantamweight belts. A small chance of getting them. And I think they're trying to line themselves up with the best chance. They did it with Guillermo Rigondeaux versus Vargas. Who knows? Who knows, right? And then you got, like I said, Brandon Figueroa, who's an interim champion to Roman. But I think Roman comes out the better of that style. But number 13, Stephen Fulton, the mover, the pop shooter, maybe he moves enough, picks Daniel Roman apart. Those two fighters could bring 3 belts back to the PBC side off the DAZN network. That's, like I say, that's the whole network battles, Mr.A's thoughts. That's how we're going to end it right here. It's a post-fight reaction, ending with Mr.A's thoughts. Thank you for your time and support. See you on the next one.